Okay, so here's our photo for today's reading, and these are almost pretty much the family you might call Mr. and Mrs. Average, really, and their child. Okay, so let's go over to the article we're reading, and today this is in The Guardian, and the title of the article is Experience. I've been on television more than 2,500 times, but you won't know my face. Well, as I was just saying, I do recognize his face, but I can't tell you his name or where I saw him. It could be my neighbor or someone lives in my street. I don't know how I know him, but clearly it's from television. So this came out a few days ago, about 3 days ago, by that date there. And the credit for the photo, it goes to Stephen Burke, and I guess he works at The Guardian. They own that photo. Okay, so I'll read the second title too. Here we go. So, my work as a TV and film extra was a dream come true. My look, skinny and not too good looking, was in high demand. That's interesting. I suppose you always think about actors as being really good looking and the women really loving them, but as an extra, you don't really want that, I guess. So it's over to you, Michael. This is your moment to appear famous.
Okay. I have always been a television addict. As a young boy growing up in Bath, I
Hmm.
devoured programs such as Doctor Who, desperate to know how they were created. At 16, I dared to tell a school careers advisor that I wanted to work in TV. She laughed and said a career in television was for people who went to university. She suggested I get a job in retail. Dejected, I reluctantly took on a job at a supermarket, but made my way up through the ranks. They had a budget for making corporate films, and I ended up directing and producing their training videos. Then, in 1998, I saw an advert in a sci-fi magazine for unpaid extras for Autumn, a Doctor Who spin-off. I dashed off an application and was thrilled to get a call weeks later, offering me a role as a villager. Walking on a set, walking on set the first time, I was like a kid in a sweet shop. It was everything I dreamed it would be. I was desperate to do it again and signed up to an extras agency. I hoped to get the odd role, but to my surprise, the bookings started flooding in, and I realized I could make more money being a full time extra or background actor than in my retail job.
Yes, fantastic, really good, very, very clear, wonderful. Okay. Um, so it says down here at the very beginning, I could make more money being a full-time extra or background actor than in my re than in my retail job. So this last little bit, he's saying an extra, the other name for them that he says is a background actor. But there are other names as well, and for some reason, extras often don't like being called extras. They don't like it. They feel it's a bit demeaning. It sort of lowers them a little bit. It's understandable. So I do know a couple of extras, and they do sort of have a different. They like to be called a different name. Background actor is one title. That's fairly unusual. I guess, a lot don't really. To my mind, I've never heard an extra call themselves that. So it's interesting he says that, but maybe I'm just inexperienced. So anything there that really sort of struck you want to ask about, or doesn't make any sense to you, or have you already checked it out? Maybe any words,
Uh,
etc.
devour, devour,
Yes, I
devour.
noticed that. Yeah, it's up here, isn't it? So let me just read that half a line to you. So I devour programs such as Doctor Who. I devour programs such as Doctor Who. So if you devour something, it's sort of like it's basically eating, often used for eating. But when you devour something, it means you're eating it as if you haven't eaten for a day or 2 days or something. You absolutely really rush it down. You really enjoy it. You gorge yourself on it. It's something. It's delectable. You almost can't help yourself, sort of a thing, feeling by eating it or consuming it. So it could be you consume or devour a TV program. That's obviously the case what he's talking about here. So, do you want to say that half a line? Just practice that little bit there. Devour.
Devour,
Mm.
devour,
Yeah, devour. So I
devour,
devour. That's okay. Can we give it another go?
devour.
Yeah, you're almost there, but you're just slightly short on the sound. Let's pop it into the dictionary. Let's listen to this in the dictionary. Flare, devour. So devour is normally how it's said. Devour. So it's got a. It, I've always thought this as being come from French origin, but I really don't quite know. So devour. They say it means eat, consume, swallow. Now bolt. So if you bolt something, there's speed in bolt. If you do something quickly, you bolt it. So that's where the bolt comes from, you might say. So speedily eat something. So that's a verb. If you devour a book or magazine, for example, you read it quickly with great enthusiasm. This is the meaning I was really thinking of. And the other one here is if a person or animal devours something, they eat it quickly and eagerly. So let's listen to how they pronounce it. So
devour,
devour, devour. So there's a V sound, v, but this hour, you could, I can sort of hear a W sound in there. So devour, so v, and then a w sound. Is that tricky? So do you want to give it another go? So I'll say it, then I'll play the sound, and then it's your go. So devour,
devour,
then it's your go.
Devour,
Oh, that's a lot better actually. Yeah, we'll do it once more. So me first. Devour,
devour,
Michael.
devour.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. That's pretty good. I'd say you're over 80% there. But it just wants a bit more practice because that sound there is, I think, is tricky for you, isn't it? The v and then the w sound. Devour, devour.
Devour.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? It's not obvious. It's not obvious. That sort of makes a W sound, doesn't it? It's tricky, that, isn't it? Just gonna quickly see if it is French. Does it mention French or anything? From the old French devour. From Latin, it comes from Latin as well, to gulp down. Yeah, even in the Latin, it meant gulp down. So if you gulp your food down, it means you're eating it really quickly. If you ate your food in big gulps, that's like big mouthfuls. So basically, it comes from French and Latin, through the Latin. Let's get back where we were. Okay, there we go. So devour. We'll come back to that maybe if we have time. I'm sure we will if you think about it. Anything else you really noticed, or that was one of the few words I noticed that when you were reading it out, really. Anything
Uh,
else?
Love to university studies. Reluctantly. I,
Yes.
I dejected. I
Yeah.
reluctantly took a job.
Yeah, I think I noticed that one as well, actually. So, yeah, you're pretty much there. Yeah, I think when you read it out, I noticed the first word in the sentence, so it's a bit tricky for that reason. So if I just read this a little bit then. So dejected, I reluctantly took on a
Reluctant.
job at a supermarket. So I'll read it once more, then it's your go. So dejected, I reluctantly took on a job at a supermarket. So your go.
Dejected. I reluctantly took on a job at a supermarket.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So, yeah, so reluctantly, I think you've got that there pretty much. Um, then the other thing I noticed was maybe that word there. So maybe we'll practice that at the end. Um, so there's a few sort of idioms in here, so a little bit tricky ones. So have you heard of the TV program? It's not really an idiom, it's just the name of a TV program. Have you heard of this program called Doctor Who?
I heard about it, but I
Mm,
I never seen maybe.
yeah,
Uh,
okay. So it's a T. I think there have been a few films made over the years, but basically most people in Britain anyway know it as a TV program. From it used to be, I think it's about an hour, maybe long. It's more. It used to be more aimed at children, but I think children and adults watch it. But it's been going for the program has been going since the 1960s, I think, for the most part. I think it had a break for about 10 years in the 80s or the 90s or something, but it's been going for a very long time. And they keep changing the actors. It's never the same actors, but every few years they change the actors, I should say. So when it says down here, I dashed off an application and was thrilled to get a call a few weeks later. Get a call weeks later, I should say. What does the dashed off bit mean? What does that mean? I dashed off. What are they saying about the dashed off part?
a dash off, it's meaning very quickly written or created
Yes, that's
application
it.
very
Yeah,
quickly doing something.
yeah, yeah. Very quickly. That's it. But most of the time, when you say dashed, it, there's a lot. There's the idea of actually running on the ground, sort of thing. And so to dash off a letter, that's a little bit more unusual, but it happens quite a fair amount. It's not like totally unheard of, but very often it's about running on the ground with your feet, sort of thing, rather than writing off something. But yeah, it's used that way too, I think. There's a couple of things I noticed when reading it out. And I can't think what they are now. Sort of idioms or idiomatic even. What about the? There we go. What about the kid in the sweet shop? Do you remember that one? So I was like, what is?
It's
Hmm.
uh, no, he's compare he's with kid who kids very kids very love like sweets and
Hmm.
they when they
Yes.
when kid in the sweet shop try to buy it all around kid very interesting because many sweets, candies, cookies,
Hmm.
and this person also was on stage or on the place where films movie. It was very interesting for him and every single things uh, was were interesting for him.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Yeah. That's the idea, I think. Um, uh, Sometimes when we say interesting, it, some people when if I say interesting to some people think I mean that's a little bit boring because interesting it gets overused and I would say and in the UK anyway if you write the word interesting it can be an insult sometimes some people can't quite judge what you're really saying. Is he really interested or is it his way
Oh,
of saying he's a little bit bored? So in other words,
uh,
interesting is a bit weak to describe the kid in a sweet shop idea. So I would say I'd use the word excited. I think you go right up to that level, sort of thing, beyond interested. Being interested in something is just a bit weak, I would say. And in fact, it may even be the opposite sometimes when it's interesting. Okay, if I was to explain this little line here, I was like a kid in the sweet shop. I would say, oh, in other words, he was really excited, not just a little bit, really excited about it, almost almost out of control a little bit. If you say that, maybe, possibly. I've taken it to a little bit of an extreme there, so that might not be the case,
mm.
but. Very excited, definitely. Where are we? So dashed off an application on that one. Kid in a sweet shop. Actually, maybe that line there is worth practicing there. So I think it was the words, those three words there. So the odd roll, that those three words there, and maybe the last couple of words too. So I'll read it to you. Then it's perhaps you'll go just practice that one again. So I hope to get the odd roll, but to my surprise, the bookings started flooding in. So I'll read it once more. I hoped to get the odd roll, but to my surprise, the bookings started flooding in. Wait, one more go?
I hoped to get the odd roll, but to my surprise, the booking started flooding in.
Yeah, okay. So so the word roll,
Roll,
a- and
roll.
flooding, that's the two words there. Let's quickly write them down. Whoops, let's correct my spelling mistake there. So that's T. So roll. There we go. And that word in English, it's exactly the same sound as that. These two words make exactly the same noise. They're homophones. Is that right? Yeah, homophones make the same sound. And you don't know which you're referring to apart from the context. So this might be a bread roll. You might want to eat a bread roll, or you might roll on the ground. I dropped my bread roll and it rolled on the ground. That's both of these words here, using them twice. And the top one, of course, is a position, something like that. A person's position in a company might be their role in a job, sort of thing, something like that. Let's just quickly stick that in the dictionary, actually, because I think that isn't that originally. This word is from the French, so I think maybe there should be. So sometimes we talk about role play. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I guess. Oh, I'm always wrong. Does it come from? Yeah, see, sometimes you may see it written like this, where I've highlighted it, with an accent over the O, the O. So officially, that's how you should write it. But I mean, nowadays nobody does. So if you see that word there with an accent, it's exactly the same word we're talking about. It's roll, basically. But let's listen to it.
roll,
Roll. So when you're saying it, the L on the end, this L sound is a bit lacking. So roll, roll. Can you just try to get the L sound a bit stronger? Roll. You'll go.
Roll,
Oh yeah.
roll.
Oh yeah. That's perfect. That really is very. There's no issue there whatsoever. Yeah. So actor in a film or play, and there is a psychological meaning, usual or customary function. Yeah. What is her role in the organization? Yeah. What's your regular role? And so it is from the French role. You can see it there. That's interesting. Actor's script. Didn't know that's interesting. Or beg your pardon. Um,
The same meaning and almost the same, no, different pronunciation, but in our language also we use roll,
say that
roll.
again, sorry.
In Ukrainian,
Oh yeah.
we also use this word, and this
Oh.
word has the same meaning, roll. But in our it sounds like roll.
Roll. Roll.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
maybe more to French. Roll.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, you're doing the French version. That's interesting. Okay, where are we? Okay. Okay. What about the little bit where he says up here, um, but I made my way through the ranks. Can you explain that? What's this bit through the ranks? So up through the ranks, I
Uh,
guess, is a idiom. Yeah,
uh,
well, sort of.
it's it's meaning he step by step
Yes.
gradually
Mm,
uh, reach uh,
that's it. Yeah.
reach the position.
Yeah, that's it. Um, and in particular, is going upwards. It's somehow improving your position steadily and perhaps slowly, going through what different roles and getting better at it, and perhaps getting you might change your job title and getting a better job title each time. Okay, so yeah, and so I think that I've always assumed that the ranks were military ranks, like going up, starting as a private, then maybe becoming a sergeant and a lieutenant, perhaps something like that. I don't know. I don't know anything about the military, really. I'm sorry to say, or happy to say. I think we've done that one. That was really good. Oh, so we're just going to do that first couple of lines again, weren't we? So, um, that be a little bit there. If I read it first, or then it's your go. So, Doctor Who is the TV program. It's got capital letters. That's the name of it, Doctor Who. I'll read this. I'll read it first, then it's your go. So, I've always been a television addict. As a young boy growing up in Bath, I devoured programs such as Doctor Who, desperate to know how they were created. So you'll go.
I have always been a television addict. As a young boy growing as a young boy growing up in Bath, I devour programs such as Doctor Who, desperate to know how they were created.
Yeah, okay. That's it. That's it, really. So is that word there, and maybe the word just below it as well. So devour, and then maybe desperate. Can you just say them both? Devour and then desperate.
Devour and desperate.
Yeah.
Desperate.
I think you're saying sort of um, some people say it that way, and they say it that way to remind themselves how to spell it. So the way you're saying it, I can hear that it's two E's, but I can hear the last one is an A. So some people remember it, say it that way to remind themselves how to spell it. But that's not actually how you pronounce it in everyday conversation, that word. So let's just pop it in here. So let's listen to what they say about it first of all. So desperate, desperate. I suppose desperate. It sounds a little bit like the Latin actually when you're saying it. So I'm hitting enter and nothing's happening. Let me just search button here.
Often I use desperation, the word
Desperation.
desperation,
Yeah.
and see in some article desperation. In this article, I maybe at first saw this word desperate.
Yeah. I thought it might stick in desperation, but I can't see it there. Strange. So basically, if you're desperate, you might be careless of danger, as from despair, utterly reckless. Oh, okay. Risky, of an act, reckless or risky, you might be desperate. A desperate act might be risky, yes. Critical, very grave, desperate. So you might meet. Well, let's just get to the pronunciation. So desperation. I can't see desperation, but strangely, but I don't know why that would be. Let's go to the top again. Go desperate, desperate. That's people say desperate when they want to remember how to pronounce it, how to spell it, I should say. But desperation, they actually say it slightly differently than we might sort of spell it.
desperate,
Desperate. It's said slightly quicker. I think the emphasis at the beginning, I think they're saying here. So desperate, desperate,
desperate,
desperate. So you'll go desperate.
Desperate, desperate.
Yeah. Um, I suppose really he's this. I can hear your P quite strongly. I think desperate. I think you're saying desperate, but he is saying. Listen to what he's saying.
desperate,
Desperate. Oh, maybe maybe I'm mishearing it. So desperate,
desperate,
desperate. So once again, Michael.
Desperate,
Maybe.
desperate.
Yeah, okay. We'll leave it at that. I think that's you're probably better.
desperate,
Yeah, I think you're probably better than me, really, actually. Desperate. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We don't have desperation. It doesn't seem to be there. But obviously the word exists. Desperation. Desperate, desperation. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we'll leave that then. Well done. Let's scroll on then. So we've done that, those three paragraphs there. Whoops. Um, Assuming we don't finish it, we'll probably read the same article again or the rest of the article on Wednesday, if you're here on Wednesday. Okay, so over to you if you're up to it.
Okay. Over the years, I made over 2,500 appearances on camera, making me one of the most prolific extras in the UK. My look at the time, skinny, mid-30s, and not too good looking, was in high demand to play doctors, gentry in period dramas, police officers, and journalists. I was cast as a newsreader so often that I started signing off with the same name every time. Peter Somers has announced headlines in at least 30 films and TV shows. And he started being requested by directors. Eagle, Eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed that for a short while there was only one GP walking across Britain's soaps, me, simultaneously treating the residents of Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, and Coronation Street. There was a group of us who always played detectives on four different shop cop shows too. We joked it was a wonder any cases ever got solved, given our vast workload. TV work led TV work led to films. I appeared in Sherlock Holmes 2 as an assassin and The Woman in Black as Daniel Radcliffe's butler. Most extra roles don't include any lines, but sometimes you get the odd sentence or two.
Yes, that's right. That's fantastic. Really good. Really, really good. Very good. Anything there you want to ask about or think about or yeah, pronunciation,
Uh,
meaning?
I've read that article and I
Hmm.
deliberately work on it.
You
Uh,
you worked on it, sorry.
yes. I
That's okay.
found out about many idioms and
Oh, very good, very good.
uh, so pronunciation. I don't know about
Hmm.
journalists.
That's
Journalists,
yeah, that's pretty good. That's really good actually. Yes. I think it's just your confidence in when you're saying it. That's the word there. So obviously it comes from the word journal, which is sort of a book you might write in, I think, or a book that is written in, and journalists.
journalists,
Yeah, that's spot
uh,
on. You can't get any better. Journalists. That's it. Spot on. Really good.
and being requested by directors.
Yeah.
Requested. Is it correct?
Requested. Requested.
Request,
That's it. Yeah.
request.
Yeah. So that
Um,
word there.
and gentry in period dramas.
So
Period.
yeah, so gentry in period dramas. Gentry in period dramas.
Yes, simultaneously.
Yeah, yeah, you're pretty good on that. So just a little bit more confidence. Yeah, so simultaneously. It's a long word.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, simultaneously.
A- And the name of the, I don't know, districts or cities,
Yeah. Mm,
Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, Coronation Street.
pretty good. So these three things here are three names of three soap operas. So there are three TV shows in Britain. I think they're
Ah,
still running. So one's called Emmerdale, Emmerdale, and it doesn't. So this place doesn't really exist. That's the name of a TV show. But I guess there may,
okay,
in
okay.
reality, be a place called Emmerdale somewhere in Britain.
Mhm.
This one's Hollyoaks, Hollyoaks, and Coronation Street. So again, I think there really are a good number of Coronation Streets in the UK somewhere, but we don't know which one it really is. But somewhere up north, I guess. So do you want to just say them again? So Emmerdale, you'll go. So I'll read them first of all. So Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, Coronation Street. You'll go.
Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, and Coronation Street.
Spot on. Yeah, that's it. Really good. Very, very clear. Very, very clear indeed. Um, I did notice maybe this word here, that word. So if we just
Maybe
read, yeah,
Station, I don't know.
so let's just read that half a sentence, then it's your go. I'll read it first, then it's your go. So his last word is assassin. Assassin. Makes it slightly awkward. You got an as, then an in front of it. So look, you're sort of half making those sounds already. So it can make it more awkward. So, TV work led to films. I've appeared in Sherlock Holmes 2 as an assassin. So, as an assassin, you'll go.
TV work led to films. I've appeared in Sherlock Holmes 2 as an assassin.
Perfect. Perfect. Very good. There was a word somewhere, and it was V and a W right next to each other. No,
Walk. TV walk.
yes, yeah, that's it there. I think you just said it under your breath, didn't you? So that bit there. So
Vast.
let's that line there because there's a W at the very beginning, then the word solved. So there's a W there, then a V, and this word has got starts with a W and a V there. So and wonder, of course. I'll read that to you, then it's your go. So we joked it was a wonder any cases ever got solved, given our vast workload. So your go.
We joked it was a wonder any cases ever got solved, given our vast workload.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. So let's just do the tricky words. So we solved and wonder and vast workload. Do you want to just do all of them? So do you want to do them now? So we wonder solved vast workload. Do you want to do them now? You'll go, Michael. Yours.
We
Yeah.
wonder solved vast workload.
Yeah, that sounds
Workload.
pretty. Yeah, yeah. Vast workload. Yeah, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Vast workload.
Vast workload.
Yeah, that's it. So too much work. They have too much work. That sort of phrase there means. Um, that's something. So there's gentry. So do you know what gentry means? What that word means, gentry? Probably do, I think, but just explain it maybe. Mm.
Gentrification,
Yeah.
gentrify.
Come.
Gentry,
Mm.
it's people from high society, maybe like lords
Yeah,
or
that's it. That's sort of. We normally think
and
of.
gentry.
That's it. Yeah.
Gentry in period drama. It's mean he played role like some lord
Mm.
or high society people in
Yes.
historical drama.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Spot on. Let's quickly look at a photo. I've quickly searched that, so let's look at um, let's look at a photo then. Yeah, these are exactly the same sort of people, aren't they? This one here, this particularly that guy there, this looks like working class from 100 years, well, let's say Victorian times. These other ones look Edwardian and perhaps Victorian, and this one here looks Tudor, like 400 or 500 years ago. This one. Okay, so okay, there are different periods. I suppose I can look at this and work out what the periods are from their clothing, but it's tricky. Okay, so yeah, so gentry, exactly as you said, it's from the upper classes, not really the working class, the lower classes. And the word gentry and the word gentleman, they are related. They have the same root basically. So if you say someone's a gentleman, officially,
Mhm.
originally anyway, it sort of meant they were from the gentry. But nowadays, you may just refer to anyone. Ladies, you might give an announcement at something or other. They might say, "Ladies and gentlemen," and that's a polite way of addressing everybody in a large crowd. They may not be truly gentlemen. They may be from the working class, but that doesn't matter. You still refer to them as ladies and gentlemen. So
And
you may hear that. Yeah. Anything else?
is it related with word gentle? Like,
Not yes and no, I would say. So if you're gentle, it means you're soft and kind, but no, it doesn't really mean that. In this sense, it means that they're two different things, or desperate meanings, you say. Disparate, I should say. Let's get the word gentle. Whoops, missed out the E.
I
So
think gentle and gentleman. It's man who is
yes.
very not soft, very
Understanding and very, very good to other people.
with sense. Yes.
There is that feeling, there is that idea behind it. Somehow people have that is attracted that idea, but originally it didn't really mean that originally. And so let's quickly tap a few words in. Hopefully the dictionary will help us. So this is just gentle. So a nurse is gentle dealing with their patients. Hopefully, hopefully anyway. So someone who is gentle is kind, mild, and calm. You might be gentle in nature, mightn't you? You may be gentle in not just your normal nature. So gentle. Let's listen to them say it.
gentle,
Gentle, yeah. So sort of soft, calm, mild. And also these are all related, aren't they? So let's stick the word. Let's see where it comes from. So I'm not sure it does. I think it does have the same root, but I'm not quite sure. Can't remember the exact reason why it's different now. He says. So
I thought that.
genteel means noble, but for whatever reason, the meaning has changed somewhat. But the word genteel simply means noble. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're good to other people, I would suggest, but not necessarily anyway.
Archaic, a person who is of good breeding.
Yeah, yeah, a noble. That's true. If you're noble, you're good breeding. Yeah. So, if it's a gentleman, see, really, if you're a gentleman several hundred years ago, it just simply meant you were of noble birth, that you were from the upper echelons of society. You were higher up you weren't sort of a working class or middle class. You were from the ruling classes essentially. But it didn't necessarily mean you were sweet and soft and kind to people. It just really talks about where you are in society. So a gentleman is a man who comes from a family of high social standing. That's all it really means. So genteel with an IL on the end. It comes from the French. It is of French origin and meaning noble, as we saw. And there's another word which we probably have just glossed over somewhere. So that's it, really. There's nothing more to say about it, really. So if I just, we see it there actually. That's genteel. So this is an interesting word. So, well, not interesting, but just another variation. So genteel. So let's listen to them say it. Genteel.
genteel,
Genteel. So a genteel person is respectable and well mannered and comes or seems to come from a high social class. You might just use it another way. So refined, cultured, mannered. So that could be a man or a woman. So you're not saying it. If you say a gentleman, that's obviously a man, and I'm not quite sure what the feminine version might be. A lady, you might simply say. Um, but genteel, you could describe man or a woman as being genteel. So this
Okay.
example sentence here is the genteel towns of Winchester and Chester. They're two towns in Britain. Another one here is two two elderly ladies with genteel manners and voices. So they're just saying their manners and voices are gentle, I suppose. Not gentle, but they're clearly by the way that they're speaking, they come from the higher classes. Not necessarily that they are very gentle, they're kind to people, but just what they're saying tells you that they are from those higher classes. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it is confusing, but hopefully you'll get it. Well, I'm sure you've got it already, really. Anything else there? I suppose eagle-eyed is fairly obvious, so not fairly obvious, but I think it was that, well, birds, when they're flying high up, they have to see little mice running around on the ground, see their prey on the ground, and swoop down. So it'd be eagle-eyed, just be very clear-eyed. Very good vision, in fact. Anything else there?
Hmm.
I think that's it, really, isn't it? Maybe we just reread that top bit. So remember that word thinking about it at the beginning. So there was something else at the beginning too. Was it genteel? It wasn't genteel, was it? Let me just read that top bit and maybe I'll suddenly click what the word was or see the word. So I'll read this last first bit. So over the years, I've made over 2,500 appearances on camera, making me one of the most prolific extras in the UK. My look at the time, skinny, mid-30s, and not so good looking, was in high demand to play doctors, gentry in period dramas, police officers, and journalists. I was cast I was cast as a newsreader so often that I started signing off with the same name every time, Peter Summers. So Peter Summers has announced headlines in at least 30 films and TV shows as he started being requested by directors. That's great, isn't it? So a director would see his one of his films and suddenly realize, I want that guy to appear in my film when I make my next film, and I want him to play that same guy. That's brilliant, isn't it? I love that. So just want to practice that top bit again, maybe. So and up to the word prolific, maybe to that full stop. So prolific.
Over the years, I've made over 2,500 appearances on camera, making me one of the most prolific extras in the UK.
Oh yeah, your prolific was perfect. Prolific is perfect. And the other thing I really was looking at also was just the word over. So
Over.
maybe just press that top line down to there, and it's the overs in particular because it's got the over twice. So over the years, I've made over. So when you're saying it, you're sort of really you're lingering on that word a little bit too much because it's a bit tricky for you, I guess. Maybe it's the V, and I think it's the V and the ER sound on the end's a bit tricky. So I'll just say it again, then it's your go. Over the years, I've made over 2,500 appearances on camera. So your go.
Over the years, I've made over two, 2,500 appearances on camera.
Yeah, okay. So let's shorten it a little bit. Let's just do the overs and we'll up to that number. So over the years, I've made over 2,500. So over the years, I've
O-
made 2,500. So you'll go.
over the years,
Oh,
I've made
hold on. The first one you did was perfect. And then you stopped yourself, said it again, and you went back to the old way of saying it. So let me just say it again for you.
over
Let me just say it first of all. So Over the years, I've made over 2,500. So you'll go you'll go.
Over the
Your first one
over
was
the year,
perfect. Go, try again, try again.
over the years,
Ah, yes.
over the years, I made over, over. I I don't know the R, the letter
Yeah.
R is confused me.
Mm,
Over, over, over the
mm,
years, I made
mm.
over 2,500.
Yeah. Um, s- the Americans might say it's somewhat the way you're saying it, generally, but a few times you said it the British way or the English way, let's say. But the British don't. We're very lazy. We're very lazy, really, in all the way we pronounce all of the words. But the Americans tend to be a bit more precise, trying to pronounce every sound exactly as sort of written almost. Um, but pretty much, not always, I guess, but pretty much everywhere you see the ER, and it's come up before, of course, we don't really say Most people in Britain don't say like that, but the Americans do. So we say over, so sound on the end. Over.
Uh,
It's not really an R at all, really. Let's take it in the dictionary to quickly see how they do it anyway. So, whoops, can't spell. Over, over. So the schwa sound, I guess, on the end, isn't it? So, well, they do have a small R there, interestingly. There's a little baby R sound. Position and movement. So this is interesting. So they've got a little note here. So in addition to the uses shown below, over is used after some verbs, nouns, and adjectives in order to introduce extra information. Over is also used in phrasal verbs such as hand over, glaze over. Yeah, and sort of an idiom. Idioms, in other words. So let's listen to how they say it.
over,
Yeah, there's a little bit more of an R there, I'd say. Yeah, over,
over,
over. Yeah, over.
over,
You might want to, in your mind, when you see it, maybe think a little bit like this over, which is that the same as ovum? So an egg, sort of something like an egg. I thought this is the word I have in my mind when I'm saying it, over on the left here, on the right, I should say, with an A on the end, over. It's not really an A sound, but it's closer to an A than it is an ER in British English. In American English, it really is the ER sound, but more like an A or a It's more precise, it's an sound. So I'll play it again, and I'll say it, then it's your go. So it's them, then it's me, then you. So
over,
over. Your go, Michael. Over.
over,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
o-
Yeah. We'll do it once again. So I'll play it, then I'll say it, then it's your go. So them,
over,
over. Your go.
over.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, it's really good. I'd say over 80% you got on that there. Yeah. It's one of those sounds which is tricky. It's got the V in it there, but yeah. So yeah, be aware there's the British way and the American way. So maybe we'll practice it again next time. Perhaps might be a good way to do it rather than sort of do it all now. Um, and maybe just practice it this evening, perhaps. So there's a lot of British words that sort of end with that ah sound. So I've done this. This is one particular word that always gets me is the word sofa. Sofa. Sofa and mother. The A sound or the in the ER, it's pretty much the same sound. Sofa, mother. I think the first time I said mother, I said a bit American. So sofa, mother. When it's in a sentence, it flows a lot more, I think. When you say it's on its own, it's a bit more unusual. So with sofa, the A sound there is pretty much exactly the sound as it is in ER, in over, I should say. Sofa and over, both of them pretty much the same sound. They do have a baby R on the end here, so there is a little bit of a R sound, I guess, but not everyone says that R. But it is probably a better way to, yeah, I'm a little bit lazy, I guess. So anything else you want to ask about the whole of with the rest of this article? So, because you've read the whole article, haven't you? I think you said. Anything else you want to ask about that struck you at the time and whatever?
Mm, I don't know. Maybe it's
Hmm.
all
It's a long
understandable.
article. If I just scroll down. Oh, this is clear. I guess this must be him on YouTube, isn't it? Down there, the same guy. Looks different there. I just noticed Pontins. So Pontins was a holiday camp. So there's lots of little houses there, and you'll pay money to visit this place and have a holiday in one of the little holiday homes. That's what Pontins is, if you're not sure. Oh, excuse me. This is quite near the end of the article, isn't it? Oh. I think these two names here. I saw this at the very beginning, where the picture was. I think I've not seen this first name before, so I'm just going to guess it is Neelam. Neelam. And this is I think we pronounce this the same way as the country, India. India.
In
India. But I have seen some people called Indira. Indira, and I can't quite think how that's spelled. India, and it's obviously related to India as a name. So it's an Indian name, and it's obviously related to India.
Gandhi.
Gandhi. Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Yeah, the Indian leader, the first leader of India after independence, I think, wasn't he? So that's the word chaperone. Chaperone. Anything else you want to ask about or think of, or
Mm,
so Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe, I should say Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe. He was the actor that played in the Wizard in what are those films? In the J.K. Rowling stories, but he played them on film. Do you know who the guy is? This
oh,
guy?
yeah, I know
Oh, I'm glad you do, because I'm struggling here. So this is
it.
Daniel Radcliffe. He's 36 now. He played a child for many years in those films. Harry Potter. There we go. So the Harry Potter films. Have you seen any Harry Potter films?
Yes, it's my wife's favorite book.
Uh, oh,
Books,
yeah, yeah.
series of books, and she likes to see movies, and she mm, influence to this love to our kids, and they also
Mm.
like what this movie. But it's for me nothing special. I don't know. It's not
Yeah, you accept it because your family loves it, but it doesn't mean anything to you.
because my daughter. I don't know numerous times
Mm.
rewatching this movie,
Mm.
and I I saw this whole movie, whole each part, and I know uh,
Mm.
almost each hero's characters.
Yes.
So
And you know everything that happens in the film because you've seen it so many times, and it's just a bit,
almost
yeah.
yes, the main idea I know.
But looking at this, I didn't realize there were quite so many. So one, two, three, four, five, six.
Seven book or
Oh,
seven or eight
seven.
book,
Oh, I didn't
seven
know
or
that.
eight book. I don't know. And
Yeah. Wow. So I've raised this spectre again here. So there we go. He's a fairly good actor, I think. I'm surprised how good an actor he was as he grew up, sort of thing. So it's quite difficult to be a childhood actor and then become an adult actor. It's really quite tricky,
yeah,
that is. It sort of ruins
and
you somehow.
all auditory, your auditory uh, usually see you like a
Oh, audience, you mean?
audience, yes, so audience, and it's very hard to play another role.
Yeah, that's it. They
So,
always see you as that character they first saw you in as a child, maybe. Yes, that's true.
but as I know, Daniel Radcliffe
Mm,
played many, played, tried and played different role
mm.
in one is it's a football movie like
Oh yeah.
Hooligan from the Green Streets. It's Britain uh, movie
What was the
about
film called?
football, football
Green Streets,
about
did you say?
about football hooligans.
Oh, Football Hooligans. Yes, Football Hooligans. Yes. Do you want to try that again? Football Hooligans.
Football hooligans.
Yeah, tricky. So, well, let's end the recording here.